With hundreds of thousands of West Virginians expected not to get Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program or SNAP benefits in November, Governor Patrick Morrisey is putting state funds into West Virginia food banks and asking you to do the same. This week, the governor announced the administration has identified up to $13 million in civil contingency funds that could be used as emergency assistance for food banks and food pantries. The administration plans to put $5 million of those dollars toward food banks immediately. The governor says they'll use the remaining money to match private donations to food banks from members of the public. Still ahead, frustration has been mounting